सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। We are seeing the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, the fourfold qualification required for the spiritual path, especially for the path of knowledge. Now, here also, so far we have seen Viveka, Vairagya, and in Shamadhi Shat Sampatti we have seen the 5 qualities: Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha. Now, the 6th quality we have to see, that is Samadhana. Now, if you see carefully, Shama, Dama, Uparama is to control the mind. So, control the mind on the level of mind, controlling the mind on the level of senses, and the effortless withdrawal of the mind. These are the 3 qualities that are Shama, Dama and Uparama. Titiksha is the quality to forbear, to cheerfully accept little discomforts, little pinpricks of life. Last session we elaborated on this and understood why this is so important. See, this titiksha is important in our day-to-day life also. All these qualities are actually required in our day-to-day life, but in spiritual life their importance just becomes more. In everyday life also, we don't like a person who keeps crying about everything, isn't it? In our friend circle, etc. also, the one who keeps doing that, we say, hey, that he to always keep on, he has complaints all the time. We don't like such person. So, titiksha, forbearance, acceptance, this is required in everyday life also. But what happens in spiritual life? It is absolutely must. Why? Because for spiritual person, the goal is something very different. And therefore, wasting time in adjusting these small things is too much. It's not something that we should entertain even for a moment. And therefore, titiksha is very important. It gives peace of mind to us, because the mind which is free of such corrections is available for something higher, right? So, titiksha, we saw very beautiful definition given by Bhagavan Shri Adi Shankaracharya ji. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam sa titiksha nigadyate. This titiksha is also something which we can measure, in the sense that because we get many discomforts, many situations where we want to complain, we can actually measure whether we are progressing or not. There will be many people trying to create confusion, create chaos for us. If we can remain calm, chinta vilaparahitam, don't forget that. That without any worry, without any anxiety, without any crying also, vilapa also. And how? Apratikara purvakam. Not fighting for it and then at the end of it you say, now I accept. No. Without fighting for it. Okay, chalo, it is like that today. Let it be. That is something that is important. Now, I remember Puja Guruji tells one story that there was one ashram and brahmacharis etc. were staying there. And of course, whenever you come and stay in ashram, you have lot of complaints etc. No? So, they say that they were allowed to only complain once in a month and they can only tell 2 words. So, first month over, one person came and complained, food bad. So, first complaint was food bad. But again for 1 month you can't complain. Then after the second month, again the person came and said that, too noisy. 2 words, too noisy. Again 1 month over. Third month he came and he said, I quit. Now done. I am going back now. But you can't complain in between. When you cannot complain in between, you can actually see how many complaints are popping in our head. You see, many times I have also observed this, that we don't understand the situation but we want to complain before understanding the situation only. Sometimes, we send flyer etc. And in flyer, suppose something is missed out etc. They will call. Oh, Veji, what time is the program? We have written in the flyer. Do you have flyer? Yes. You see 5th line from top. There is a date written. Next line is time written. Okay. It's there in front of us. We won't see. I remember when Swamiji, I won't tell the name, used to do very interesting thing. What he will do is, in the flyer, purposely he will make a mistake. I have seen this. I have worked with that Swamiji and I have seen this. He will make a mistake and he will say, this is the mistake this time I am doing. Now you see how many people call to tell that there is a mistake. They don't want to attend the program. They don't want to promote the program. But the moment there is a mistake, they can't stay. One particular city in Maharashtra is well known for such things, Why to unnecessarily tell the name of the city and finding mistakes? And literally I have attended the calls. The moment that flyer will go by post to everybody's house, the calls will start coming and 4 or 5 calls will be to correct the mistake. And Swamiji used to say, he would have given us clear instruction that when they call, you tell them to come and tell other 300 people to join. But they will not call to tell that I am coming or when is the program, what are the details. No. They want to tell that there is a mistake. Especially if it is done by somebody else, then we are very good in finding faults. And therefore what? We want to correct that immediately. Titiksha, that is not our job now. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam sa titiksha nigadyate. So this is actually for conservation of energy also. That you are conserving your energy by not allowing it to dissipate through all these small changes, and so that you can put it in a proper use. Then we saw the 5th inner value is Shraddha. Shraddha, what is that? Shraddha is the most important characteristic actually for spiritual path. Shankaracharya says, Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satya Buddhya Avadharana Sa Shraddha Kathita Sadbihi Yaya Vastu Upalabhyate. Firm belief that what the scriptures and what my Guru is telling is absolutely true. This firm belief is called as Shraddha. Shankaracharya adds, Yaya Vastu Upalabhyate. It is that by which one gains the supreme reality. Only by faith one gains. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Only a person with faith can gain knowledge. And therefore, it is given so much of value, that faith. Sometimes people ask this question, what is the difference between Shraddha and Vishwas? And I have heard also many people telling the difference. No, Shraddha is faith, Vishwas is belief. Once I remember Guruji Tejomananji answering this. Very simple difference is there, he used to say. A Shraddha is a feminine word and Vishwasa is a masculine word. That's the only change. One is Strilinga Shabda, another is Pullinga Shabda. Meaning is same. Why? Because just like there is a blind faith, there is Andhavishwas. Blind belief is also there. So we don't have to critically create distinction between Shraddha and Vishwas. Therefore, Gurudev also says faith is what? Belief pending inquiry. So belief, Vishwas is there. But pending inquiry, that is important. That also we saw, Shraddha doesn't mean that just blindly follow whatever they are telling. No. No. You are not saying that now I have believed, so now I am not going to think. No. You believe and then you start inquiring. But the inquiry in which direction? Inquiry is in the direction to understand how it is. It is. It is like this. Why? Because my Guru is telling. Because the Shastra is telling. So I am not doubting that. But how is it like that? That I am inquiring into. So I believe and then I start inquiring so that I can understand the logic behind it. So that I can understand what we say, the truth, the foundation behind it. But for a person who has strong faith, absolutely strong faith, logic is not required. Logic is not required. Yaya vastu upalabhyate. We also saw that especially for this spiritual knowledge, Shraddha is so much important. Why? Because there is no other way. All other kinds of worldly knowledge you can check. Isn't it? What is this? This is a watch. Suppose somebody tells me this is a watch and I don't believe, I can ask somebody else and they can tell you, yes, this is watch. I can confirm, I can see, I can Google it. You Google the knowledge of self. How will you Google? Google will give you some kind of knowledge, but the self, it cannot show. Google will tell you about it, but in images, if you go, it won't show the image of self. It is not something which can be shown in a laboratory test tube, etc. You can do that. It is knowledge which is beyond senses, beyond mind, beyond intellect, and therefore it is only by Shraddha that you can go ahead. Therefore, Shraddha is given so much of importance. We also saw how to develop this Shraddha. Read more and more about the glory of the scripture, glory of Guru, glory of the God. Discuss. If you meet people with like-minded, who have spiritual bending, discuss these things with them. Stories of the Guru. We know Shankaracharya's student, no? Totakacharya, before he got that name, he was so much dedicated to Shankaracharya and only wanted to discuss about Shankaracharya. So he will go to every person and he will say, you tell me some story about my Guru. How he defeated you in the Shastra, so you tell me that story. How did that Padmapadacharya walk on the lotus, on the water and the lotus appeared? How? You tell me. Why? I want to listen to the glory of my Guru more and more and more. Glory of the Lord, glory of the scripture. I want to know. Then what will happen? Then that Shraddha will increase. I'll tell you one more thing and then we'll proceed. Even if you keep your eyes open and see what is happening in your life, actually, you will develop Shraddha. Not to do many other things. Because if you really keep your eyes open and see that, I didn't prepare for this, but still it happened. How? By their grace only. You will understand the role that the Lord and the Guru is playing. That even after hundreds of mistakes that we have done, still we are on spiritual path. It's only by their grace. But you need to keep your eyes open and not say that, yeah, of course I did. If you say like that, then you won't understand the real hand working behind the whole scene. But if you keep your eyes open, you will then get, oh, this is what, if I would have done that, I would have failed. It's because God and Guru protected me, therefore it is happening. That way also you can develop Shraddha. Now, let us go to the last of the sixfold inner wealth, Samadhanam. Verse number 26. Please repeat. Samyagasthāpanam buddhehe
Sarvada sthapanam buddhehe
Shuddhe brahmani sarvada
Shuddhe brahmani sarvatha
Tat samadhanamityuktam
Tat samadhanamityuktam
Natu chittasya lalanam
Natu chittasya lalanam
Samyagasthāpanam buddhehe Shuddhe brahmani sarvada Tat samadhanamityuktam Natu chittasya lalanam. There is also Patha Beda. In different Patha it is Sarvada Sthapanam Buddhehe Shuddhe Brahmani Sarvatha or Sarvada. This Patha is also there. Meaning is not very different, we will see. One Patha says what? Samyak. Samyak means well. Asthapanam, placing, establishing. Buddhehe, of the mind. So, well establishing the mind, Shuddhe Brahmani, in that pure Brahman, Shuddha pure, Brahmani, Brahman, in that Brahman, Sarvada or Sarvatha, in all ways, or Sarvada, always. Tat Samadhanam, that is called as Samadhanam. Iti Uktam, this is what is called as Samadhanam. Natu, and not Chittasya Lalanam. Chittasya Lalanam, Lalanam means whims and fancies of the mind. That is not called as Samadhana. This is called as Samadhana. What? Placing the mind well in that pure Brahman. Well establishing the mind in that pure Brahman is called as Samadhana. Now, we saw that these 6 qualities have also got very close connection with meditation. Now here it becomes clear that Samadhanam is the final stage of meditation, where you are placing the mind well, perfectly in that Supreme Brahman, Shuddhe Brahmani. Now somebody says that, but then it is same as Shama, isn't it? Shama also you defined it like this only, that you are placing that mind in one's own goal, isn't it? What is that? Swalakshe niyata avastha manasah shama uchyate was said. Manasah swalakshe niyata avastha. What is the difference between the Shama and Samadhana? You see, Shama is more like control of mind, and Samadhana is to place that controlled mind in supreme goal. So one is emphasizing on detaching the mind from the world, and Samadhana is focusing on attaching it to the Supreme Self. We always say, no, these are the 2 steps, detach and attach. Detach from the lower and attach to the higher. So that detaching from the lower is focused, is emphasized on in Shama, and attaching to the highest is emphasized in this Samadhana. That's the difference. Actually it is same, but where is the focus? That is different. The definition looks same, but the focus is different. Focus is on control of mind in Shama. Focus is on placing that mind in Supreme in Samadhana. Also please note, the word Samadhana is very technical here. In Marathi, etc., in Hindi also, samadhan. Samadhan means contentment. We say, no, samadhan. It's not contentment. Samyak adhanam, samadhanam. That is exactly what is said, no? Samyak asthapanam buddhehe. That's the literal meaning of samadhanam. Samyak, well, adhanam, placing. Placing the mind perfectly in the Supreme Brahman. That is what is called as samadhana. Natu chittasya lalanam. And not allowing the mind to go according to whims and fancies. That is what is called as samadhana. Means what? See, if the mind is not going into the world, then this natu chittasya lalanam is taken care of. Allowing the mind to go on its own ride is not meditation. It's exactly opposite of it. Not allowing mind to go anywhere and placing it perfectly in that Supreme Brahman. That is what is called as samadhanam. So now you see, shama, dama, uparama focuses on control of mind. Control of mind on the level of mind, on the level of senses, and effortless withdrawal. Titiksha again doesn't allow the mind to dissipate, to correct little discomforts. Shraddha, faith gives that focus, or what we can say as force to go towards higher, and samadhanam clearly tells me to be there till the time I gain it. Right? And therefore the words like samyak, sarvada, sarvatha are used. Means what? Don't allow mind to go out for any reason at any point of time, even a bit. Samyak means totally, sarvada means always, and sarvatha means in all ways. Don't allow mind to go out for any reason at any point of time, even a bit. That is what is called as samadhana. Okay. For that, you see, for this, the whole life has to change. People always ask this question, we try to meditate, but the concentration doesn't happen. Why? Because what you do outside meditation is more important. You do all kinds of nonsense outside meditation and then you want 30 minutes to, meditate perfectly. It doesn't happen like that. You have been listening to some songs, then when you sit for meditation, those songs will come back. You have watched some movie last night, then next day morning that movie will come back. You have ate too much. Then now, while meditating, your burping, etc. will come. Why? Because eaten so much. If the life is not balanced in the remaining time of the day, how can you meditate properly in the time when you are sitting for meditation? And therefore, here if samadhana we have to achieve, we have to improve, then what we have to do? We have to balance our entire life. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says very beautifully, that everything should be balanced. Yukta. In 6th chapter he says, Yukta ahara viharasya, Yukta cheshtasya karma, Yukta swapna avabodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. Then that yoga will become fruitful. When there is Yukta ahara and vihara, when there is balance in how much I am eating and how much I am spending my energy. Yukta cheshtasya karma, so how much time I am just sitting down and how much I am acting. Yukta swapna avabodhasya, how much time I am sleeping and how much I am awake. There should be balance. Not that sleeping means now whole time sleeping. Then what will happen? See, in meditation, many times people think that you feel sleepy because you didn't get sleep properly. That's not the only reason. Sometimes if you have overslept, then also you feel sleepy in meditation. You try, you will know. So it is not necessary that you have to have only less sleep, because of which you are getting sleep in meditation. If you sleep more also, you will again feel sleepy in meditation. And therefore, balance is what is required. If we can gain that balance, then this samadhana becomes perfect. Now, think of these 6 qualities as one group. Why? Because that's why Shankaracharya has put them together. See, he could have said no, instead of sadhana chatushtaya, he could have said that sadhana navashta. There is a, not chatu, but there are 9 sadhanas are there. Viveka, Vairagya, Shama, Dama, Uparama. No, he is not counting like that. He said Viveka, Vairagya, then Shamadhi Shat Sampatti is put together, and then Mumukshutva, which we will be seeing now. But why that Shama, Dama, Uparama, everything is put together? Because they go together. Number 1, first reason is they are all connected to mind. Number 1. Number 2, they all are about meditation, improving meditation. Number 2. Number 3, you start developing one, the other will automatically get developed. That's the beauty of these 9. You pick anyone, and therefore they are in a group. You pick anyone and you start doing, all other things will automatically start improving. Isn't it? Say, suppose Shama you are improving, that control of mind, on the level of mind you are improving, automatically Dama and Uparama will increase, Samadhana will be easy. Suppose Titiksha you are increasing, Shamadama will automatically increase. Why? Because Titiksha, you are forbearing, then your mind will not go out. Suppose Samadhanam, you are focusing that mind should remain there, automatically mind will be controlled from going to the world. So therefore these 6 qualities are put together. That is the reason. Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadha. Now, this is the third qualification, that we should have these 6 inner wealth. Now we go to the fourth qualification. So, Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi Shat Sampatti, and now comes Mumukshutva, that burning desire for liberation. That is what we are seeing now. Let us see verse number 27. Ahankaradi dehantan bandhan ajnana kalpitan swaswarupavabodhena moktumichha mumukshuta ahankaradi dehantan bandhanajnana kalpitan swaswarupavabodhena moktumichha mumukshuta. Now again here mumukshuta, mumukshutva, same only. One is feminine word, one is neuter word. Mumukshutvam is neuter gender, mumukshuta is feminine, strilinga. The word is feminine, means same. What do you mean by mumukshuta? Desiderative, we have been seeing this desiderative. What is the meaning? He is telling moktumichha mumukshuta. Very simple definition. Moktumichha, the desire to get liberated, is called as mumukshuta or is called as mumukshutva. Right? This is the meaning. Now, moktumichha mumukshuta, is that sufficient? No. Some other things are there. What? Liberation from what? By what? That is answered in the rest of the verse. Let us see. Ahankaradi dehantan bandhan moktumichha mumukshuta. Like that you have to connect. Bandhan, a bondage, from the bondage. From the bondage, what is the bondage? Ahankaradi dehantan. The bondage is the feeling of I that I have starting from ahankara. Ahankara adi. Adi means beginning. Beginning from ahankara. Ahankara means ego. I. This I-ness is ego. Ahankara, the starting from that, dehantan, up to the body. Means what? I have a feeling that this is me. Hey, I came, why didn't you look at me? See, looked at what? Body. So I feel that body is me. My senses are me. my mind is me, my intellect is me, my ego is me. All these which are actually my instruments, I have a feeling that they are me. This is bondage. Bandha. Anatmani atma buddhi jagati satya buddhi bandha. In Vedanta, how do we define bandha? Anatmani atma buddhi. That which is not me, I have a feeling that it is me. And jagati satya buddhi. And in the world, I have a feeling that it is real. This is called as bandha. Here what is said? Ahankaradi dehantan bandhan. Liberation from the bondage of I-ness that I have in all these instruments, starting from ego up to the body. How are they? Ajnana kalpitan. They are imagined by ignorance. Means what? They are not real. See, technically speaking, our body changes every moment, isn't it? They say in 7 years, most of our cells have changed, except some brain cells. Most of our our cells have changed, which means what? 7 years, what I was calling as me, and today there is not even one cell in the body which is same. Some brain cells may be same, but body is now completely different. But still, I have feeling of I. A childhood picture you stand, you see this is me. How can this be you? A small baby, so innocent, and look at you, crooked fellow, now grown up. How can this be you? But we have funny feeling that this is me. This is called as bandha. Ajnana kalpitam, this is imagined by ignorance. And therefore, to get rid of this bondage, to get rid of this feeling of I in the not self, is what is called as desire, is called as mumukshata. So see, ahankaradi dehantan ajnana kalpitan bandhan moktum ichha mumukshata. But how do I want to get liberated? How I want to give up this bondage? Swaswarupa avabodhena. The means are also given. Avabodha means knowledge. Avabodhena, by the knowledge of swaswarupa, of one's own real nature. Who am I actually? If I understand that, then I will clearly get rid of the notion who I am not. I feel that I am this body is a wrong notion because of ignorance. I will get rid of it when I understand who I am actually. So, there is a desire to get liberated. And the person also understands what is liberation. The liberation is feeling that I am this body, this BMI, the body, mind, intellect is me. This is what is bondage. So, a person wants to get rid of this bondage by knowledge. Such a person is called a mumukshu. See, all the people want to be happy. They are all not called as mumukshu. One who understands that the problem lies within, and the main problem is the ignorance of one's own self, and therefore wants to gain knowledge about oneself. One who becomes thus spiritual. Spiritual means what? One who understands that the problem is within and the solution is also within, and therefore stops looking for the solutions outside. That person is called as mumukshu. Careful, everybody wants to get rid of bondage. Everyone is not called as mumukshu. One who understands that the bondage is this ignorance of mine, and therefore way to get rid of this bondage is knowledge of one's own self. And with that knowledge, one who desires to gain liberation is called as mumukshu. Okay, see again, ahankaradi dehantan bandhan ajnana kalpitan swaswarupa avabodhena moktum ichha. Desire to liberate oneself mumukshuta. That is what is called as mumukshuta or mumukshutva. Okay, that is the point. Now you see, earlier also Shankaracharya had used this word in the third verse itself. He said, Durlabham trayamevaitat devanugraha hetukam manushyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samshaya. The second quality which is said are very rare and achieved only by the grace of the Lord. Second of that, the three rare things, the second of that is mumukshutva. The desire to gain liberation. Having been born as human being, that desire that I want to get liberated and therefore I want to put efforts to improve myself and to understand my own nature. This desire is very rare. See, only this desire can actually, push us on our journey. Isn't it? Actually, this mumukshutva, don't think that because it comes last, Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shat, Sampatti and mumukshutva, it is the least important. No, it is the most important. That's why it comes at the end. We say no, last and best. Why? Because that is actually the fuel for my vehicle on the spiritual path. Stronger the desire, faster I will go. Many times when we ask this question that, Veji, we know spiritual life is important, but sadhana is not happening. One day it happens, one day it does not happen. Why? Because we don't understand the urgency. Gurudev would explain it as, suppose your hair has caught fire. How desperately you want water. That desperation should be there for liberation. Then you will get liberated. At that time, suppose somebody says that, I have sent you WhatsApp message, please check. He said, no water. No WhatsApp, no TV, no nothing else. No food, nothing else. Only water I want. Why? Because your hair is on fire. Do you feel that urgency for liberation? If you feel, then you will get liberated very soon. Stronger the desire, faster will be our progress. That is as simple as that. Then we won't waste time in doing anything else. We think that we still have time. That's why we waste. Isn't it? But when we understand that there is no time, then we become focused. Then we become full, put our heart and efforts only for that. Then liberation becomes possible. So this is called as mumukshutva, not postponing. You can't postpone now. That's why Gurudev will not just, if you read Gurudev's commentary, etc., he will not call it mumukshutva as desire for liberation. He will say burning desire for liberation. Burning desire means which doesn't allow me to sit till I get the result. Siddhartha, Gautam Buddha had that kind of desire. Shariram va patayami, karyam va sadhayami. Either I will achieve what I have started or I will give up the body. There is no third option. Means what? I will attain it. Full stop. Nothing else. That is called as mumukshutva. Now, actually speaking, the four qualities are explained. Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shat, Sampatti and mumukshutva. All four qualities are explained. Now, Shankaracharya is giving some notes on these qualities. Let us read. Very interesting. What is that? First is note on this mumukshutva. What we just saw, he is telling something about it. Let us read verse number 28. Please repeat. Manda madhyama rupapi vairagyena samadhina prasadena guroseyam pravruddha suyate phalam.
प्रवृद्धा सूयते फलम्
मन्दमध्यमरूपापि वैराग्येण शमादिना प्रसादेन गुरोस्सेयं प्रवृद्धा सूयते phalam. Beautiful. See, the previous verse ends with mumukshuta. Now the reason why he is using Strilinga Shabda mumukshuta. Because he wants to tell something about it and he wants to distinguish it from other vairagya, etc. See here, manda madhyama rupa api mumukshuta. That mumukshuta is in previous verse. Here he is not saying that. He is saying manda madhyama rupa api mumukshuta. The desire which is manda. Manda means what? It is very dull. Or madhyama means mediocre. That kind of desire also api. Manda madhyama rupa mumukshuta api. Sayam, that mumukshuta which is now being discussed here, pravruddha, becomes powerful, grows. Vriddhi means growth. Even if your desire for liberation is dull or mediocre, it grows. And suyate phalam, and it gives fruit, it gives its result. How? Three reasons are given or three ways are given by which that desire grows. That's why in the previous verse I did not discuss how to develop mumukshuta because it comes here now. So he is telling, Shankaracharya is saying that even if you have desire, but it is not very strong desire, as Gurudev explained, no, hair is on fire and you want water. Even if tivra mumukshutta is not there, tivra means strong. Even if it is dull or mediocre, even that can grow and give its result when or how, by what? Three reasons are given. Vairagyena. He says, number one, develop vairagya, detachment, dispassion, develop that. Shamadina, second reason he is giving, develop or inculcate those Shamadhi Shat Sampatti. That will help you grow this mumukshuta. Shamadina, Shama Adina, by improving Shama, etc. And third, he says, Guroho prasadena. See, this is the freedom that Shankaracharya is enjoying. That he brings this point again and again. You put efforts, then the grace of God or Guru will come, then you will gain it. Guroho prasadena means what? By the grace of Guru. Prasada literally means when the Guru is pleased by you. That's the meaning. That's the kind of meaning. Prasada. So, Guru is pleased by you means what? He will bless you. By his grace, by his blessing, you will get this manda and madhyama mumukshutva which you have will become tivra mumukshutva. So, manda mumukshutva is how? Manda mumukshutva is postponing. Yeah, I want to get liberated, but still there is time where you feel that you don't think that liberation is important. You give equal importance. I have desire for other things, like that I have desire for liberation also. One of it. That is called as dull mumukshutva. Mediocre mumukshutva means what? You understand its importance, but you don't understand its urgency. You know that liberation is important, but you don't understand that it is very urgent, and therefore, like a pendulum, you keep shifting. At some point of time, you are very high mumukshu, and other point of time, very lazy. So between yoga and bhoga, you keep shifting. Then Navratri, Navratri, 9 days full sadhana. 10th day, Vijayadashmi, morning puja is over. Now whatever fasting etc. was done, now that feast will start. Why? Whatever you controlled, now everything will go in bhoga. Between yoga and bhoga, you keep shifting. But then again, after 2-3 days, too much time wasted. No, again I want to focus. Again, after 2-3 days, again, this is called as madhyama mumukshutva. You understand the importance, but you don't understand the urgency. Mediocre, like a pendulum. Now, this should become tivra. Tivra means where you understand the importance and urgency of liberation. Both you understand. Not only that, you understand it is the most important thing in your life. There is nothing as important as gaining liberation. Therefore, all your efforts are focused on that. That is called as tivra mumukshutva. That will give me liberation. And how will my manda and madhyama mumukshutva become tivra? Is said by vairagya and samadhi shat sampatti. If you so actually what Shankaracharya is telling is, Shankaracharya is telling us logic. You see, when vairagya we want, we need viveka for that. Because unless you understand what is real and what is unreal, how can you give up unreal? So viveka comes as step number 1. Viveka gives rise to vairagya. So you start improving viveka, vairagya will also start improving. Now that vairagya only gives impetus to samadhi shat sampatti. Because more and more you are dispassionate, control of mind and all other things will become easy. We saw last time also, when I don't want it, when I am not attached to it, why will my mind go towards it? My mind goes towards things which I am attached to. So vairagya improve, samadhi shat sampatti is improved. And just now he says that by vairagya, by improving vairagya and samadhi shat sampatti, mumukshutva will improve, mumukshutva will grow. So this is the logic, and that is why these 4 qualities come in this order: viveka, vairagya, samadhi shat sampatti, mumukshutva. But interestingly, when the mumukshutva starts growing, it again supports your viveka, vairagya, samadhi shat sampatti. Cyclic. Why? Because now the desire is more, then vairagya will become stronger, then samadhi shat sampatti will become easier. That's why they are called together as sadhana chatushta. Start improving viveka, vairagya, samadhi shat sampatti, mumukshutva will improve. Now that improved mumukshutva will again improve your viveka, vairagya, samadhi shat sampatti. That is what will happen. And when you start putting efforts in improving all these things, Guru's grace, God's grace comes, and we get that liberation also. And of course, desire for liberation becomes tivra, and that's how we get liberation also. That's why Shankaracharya says, Guroho prasadena. This also is to remind us that if viveka etc. starts to improve in you, don't become egoistic. That now I can control. Now I am very strong. My viveka, vairagya, mumukshutva is very strong. Don't get that pride or ego. Still be humble. Still surrender at the feet of the Guru. Why? By their grace only this is going to happen. Efforts from our side. Then comes grace. By the grace it happens. Remember, grace is dependent on our efforts. Experience of the grace is dependent on our efforts. Let me put it like that. Grace is there, common to all, given to everybody, like sunlight. But our efforts will be required to use that sunlight. Sunlight is given to all, but if you just waste it away, you won't get benefit out of it. Isn't it? But if you put solar panel, you can use it. Grace is there of God and Guru. But you put efforts, you become eligible to receive that grace. That's how it is. That's how it is. Don't think that God or Guru is partial. That on some people only they are blessing and other people, and therefore some people, they come also, no, touch my head, no, touch my head, then only I will feel the grace. Gurudev etc. used to, get very angry. Somebody went to Gurudev and said that, so Swami Vivekananda went to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa just touched Swami Vivekananda with his hand, and Swami Vivekananda realized. Gurudev said, You become Swami Vivekananda, I will touch with my feet and you will realize. I don't even have to touch with my hand. Gurudev will say, you will force me to touch your head with my hand and then my hand will become oily. That is the only thing that will happen. No realization, etc. will happen. Go. You put efforts. Some people are very literal. They want blessing means, no. You say, in words you say that I bless you. But I am blessing. No, you utter this. I'll tell you something. For a moment, if Guru feels that, oh, poor thing, he's putting so much of effort. Oh God, please. This much if Guru feels, for a moment, we are done. We are done, I am telling you. For a moment also, Guru feels that he's putting efforts. May his efforts be fruitful. For a moment, he thinks. That's it. We don't need anything else. But to gain that also, we have to do sadhana. That's why many people think that Indian culture or Vedanta, etc. is very, passive. You don't do anything, everything God will do. No, it is not like that. It's not. It's never said that you don't do anything. We are only saying that everything happens by their grace. That doesn't mean you don't do anything. That is to make us humble. That is to tell us that even if you put efforts, if their grace is not there, it won't work. You put efforts to, for farming, etc., but rain doesn't happen. Then, will you get any grains? No, you won't get anything. But the beauty of this is, you put efforts, rain will come. Now, you don't put efforts and wait for rain to come. Nothing will come out. Only grass will come out from there. No grains will come out. So, it is not a passive theory. It's not saying that you just sit and relax and don't allow it will happen. No, you put efforts. But after putting efforts, also understand that when their grace will come, then it will happen. Understand this very clearly. Otherwise, confusion will arise. Liberation is possible by my efforts or by their grace. My dear, liberation will happen by their grace, but their grace will come only when we put efforts. That's why our efforts coupled with the grace of the Lord or the Guru gives us liberation. That's why it says, Vairagyena, Shamadina, Guroho Prasadena. 3 things are said. You put efforts to improve, yourself. Vairagya, Shamadhi, Shat Sampatti. You improve. Then by their grace it will happen. Then by their grace it will happen. Okay. That is the important point that we should not forget. Right? So, Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi, Shat Sampatti, Mumukshutva. These are the qualities that are must for us. Even if we have these qualities in little measure, we can start the path and keep improving these qualities. And the way is also given of improving the qualities. Viveka Vairagya, how to improve? Dosha Drishti. We have seen Pratipaksha Bhavana. Find the faults in our sensory enjoyment. In the impermanent world of objects, what are the faults? Note it down. Remind yourself of that. Shamadama, etc. also we saw what are the ways of improving that. Mumukshutva also we saw what are the ways to improve it. Put all the efforts. See, more and more Shamadhi, all these 4 qualities, Sadhana Chatushtaya improves in us, no? Our understanding of scriptures also will grow that much. That's how it is. I remember one conversation, I was with Swami Purushothamananji, very senior disciple of Pujya Gurudev, and he used to come very often. I was a child at that time, and somebody came after satsang, after the session, etc. People will come and prostrate, and then, so I used to go with Swamiji. So they came and they were prostrating, and then they were like, Swamiji, today, today your session was some different level only. Today something different happened. Today you were It's wonderful. Swami said, Hari Om, thank you. And then went ahead and then he said, every session is like that only, today you understood. That's the point. That is the point. If we are ready, any session will be enough for us. Any text will be enough for us. What is the use of 100 and crores of Shastras? One text also will be enough for us. Kindle life is sufficient. Gurudev's basic text that he tells to study for study groups, no? That is also sufficient. Why? Because self-knowledge is given in that also. Only thing is what? We are not ready. But Vechi, then don't you think, then why are we studying this Viveka Chudamani? We should study something. That is also one way of improving Vivek, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shat, Sampatti. You see, now we are studying about this, therefore we are understanding the importance of it and we are understanding how to develop Vivek, Vairagya, isn't it? More and more we study these texts, it also acts as a catalyst in our spiritual path. Shravana is also for purity of mind. That also gives purity of mind. That's what is finally required, isn't it? And therefore, more and more we study, it should lead to the practice of Vedanta. If that happens, then it will give its result. If that doesn't happen, then by more and more study, what will happen? In childhood, that story they used to tell, no? A donkey carrying gold coins. It will be like that. We will be like that donkey carrying self-knowledge with us. If unless it comes in our life, this translates into our living, the spiritual knowledge will not be fruitful. It will happen, don't worry. Just now he said, no, by God's grace it will happen. Why are you worrying? You put sincere efforts. Every day keep putting efforts sincerely and it will happen. Okay, that is the point that Shankaracharya is saying. Now, next two verses, he gives note on Samadhi Shat Sampatti. Okay, Samadhi Shatka Sampatti, that he gives note on, that we will see in the next session, because those two verses are to be taken together, right? And of course, master stroke, Shiksar comes of Shankaracharya in the next verse. 29-30 is notes on Samadhi Shat Sampatti and 31st verse is Shankaracharya's master stroke. That we will see in the next session. Alright. These qualities form very basis of Vedanta. So, worth memorizing. What exactly is Viveka, Vairagya, Shama? Even if you can't memorize the Sanskrit definition, that's okay. At least the meaning should be clear. Viveka means distinguishing between what is real and what is unreal. Vairagya means dispassion or detachment from the unreal, from the results of actions here or hereafter. Shama means control of mind on the level of mind. Dhamma means control of mind on the level of senses. Uparama means effortless withdrawal. Titiksha means cheerful acceptance. Shraddha means strong faith in God, Guru and Shastra. Samadhana means concentration of mind, well placing the mind in Supreme Brahman. And Mumukshutva means burning desire for liberation. Even if these terms with English translation, if you remember, that also will be sufficient. Okay, so that going forward, when just Vairagya is said, I don't have to translate. You will understand, okay, Vairagya, yes. Okay, chalo. We will conclude for today. We will continue in the next session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.